Opinions on a podcast with Junior and Maze.
Hi, welcome to Opinions On with Junior tonight. Coming live from the basement. I just got back from a house crawl, we called it, I think. It's about 10 houses. Every house has one particular drink they're making and one particular food they're making. Gotta say, it was delicious. We started around 4 p.m. and I'm now in at 10:30 p.m. So about like 6.5 hours of doing this. We had a mango peach margarita spicy. It was delicious. Shot of bourbon, smooth. There was this thing called like a shotgun shooter, or it was like bacon with a noodle with like this fucking delicious meat inside of it. It was so good. And end of the night, the kids ended up having a like kind of like their own little rave and on a trampoline with glow sticks and music, and it was pretty cool. Like the whole neighborhood kind of came out for it. And what it was like two groups of, you know, the people who stand at the bus drop off. You know what I mean? Like all the parents that hang out every single day for that 10 to 15 minutes waiting for the bus to come. Their kids are playing and, you know, just hanging out, kind of chatting a bit. So all of us got together kind of to enjoy some drinks in each other's company and to kind of figure out who we live around, you know, and everybody was pretty cool. A lot of golfers. Didn't know that. A lot of people who love their kids. It's a good neighborhood, you know, nice and quiet. So it was interesting seeing everybody tonight, which is really cool. Let's see. Yeah, it was interesting. My wife came out with me. The kids ended up having a babysitter until the end of the night. They had pizza, did their thing, you know, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So now here I am, 10:30 at night. I did want to talk about musical influences for the Mace tonight, but unfortunately he could not make it. So here I am doing this by myself. I did have to say I woke up early this morning around 2 a.m. Couldn't sleep because this was one of my long runs this morning. By long, I mean like I have not run over like 4 miles in about like 2 years due to my sciatic. Yeah, it was interesting. We ran on trail, which is needless to say, if you're not running particularly like every single day, like 1 to 2, 1 to 3 miles per day, you're running 8 miles, like that's going to wear on your body. So yeah. There was a bunch of bikers out. It's Memorial Day weekend, man. Everybody's out there having a good time, enjoying the weather. It's crisp and cool, and, you know, getting out there on your bikes and walking your dogs out in the trail and all that stuff. We went to Walking Purchase Park. It's down by the river over here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I got to say, like, as soon as I rolled up there, I think I got there around 6 a.m., ready to go. I'm like, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get some selfies. I'm going to see what's going on out there. And next thing you know, there's a huge ass train coming at me. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah. And it, you know, when it blows its whistle, it's loud. Early in the morning, 6 a.m., I was not ready for it. Then my buddy, he showed up a little bit later and stretched and we did our thing. We galloped up the hill. Pretty much. Talked, and again, like, what guys talk about, it's like, you know, family life, how's your job, sports, and what we're going to eat afterwards. We ended up picking a burrito, like a breakfast burrito place with some coffee and all that good stuff. So it was well worth it. It was a good run. Very good run. But I did want to talk about today, top 10 movies I've watched and kind of like the, you know, some of the sayings behind the movies. Some of those great sayings, like, you know, the Ace Ventura's, the Mask, the Ricky Bobby, shake and bake, baby. Shut up, Chip. Like that kind of stuff. Like, I'm notorious for remembering those catchphrases, or even like, God, I used to love Batman, the old Michael Keaton. You know what I mean? Like the regular Batman with the Joker, Jack Nicholson or whatever, as the Joker. Like, I loved, that was my genre. Like, I probably rocked, what was it, like Superman 4? I think he fights a computer. Yeah, I think he fights a computer, pretty much. Like, that was my jam. Like, he turned in, like, the red kryptonite turned him into this, like, awful Superman. Same thing in, like, Superman 3. When Venom, he gets that Venom suit, he turns into, like, that cool, like, the chicks love me. Walking down the street, doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, that was my thing. I rotated Jaws, Aliens, and Superman. That's all I watched as a kid. And occasionally that Saturday morning hitter would be that Ninja Turtle, He-Man, some obscure, like, learning about animals show. That's what I watched. That was me. That was me to a T. So again, like, opinions on, I'm talking about movies. And we're talking about the top 10 movies of all time. Let's see what we got. We have coming at number 1, being The Shawshank Redemption. I've never seen that movie, ever. But again, I heard it is incredible. They do their thing. Number 2, The Godfather. The first one. Seen it. Amazing. Godfather 2, Part 2. I haven't seen the 2. The Godfather 2. The Dark Knight. I mean, who came up with this list? But The Dark Knight, I love that one. I to be honest with you, I like the one with Bane. Like, that was my favorite, when he breaks his back and he has to climb out of the hole. That was great. 12 Angry Men. A 1957 movie I've never seen. Never, ever. Schindler's List. I'm pretty sure I watched that in sophomore year in high school. And yeah, wasn't a fan. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The last one of the trilogy. I'd have to say The Dark Tower is my favorite. I think that's like the second one. Not the first one, that's The Fellowship. But like definitely the second one I liked. Return of the King, not a big fan of. I wasn't. Like, I didn't appreciate it as much as the second. I think there was more action in the second one, and I'm a big Gandalf fan, so I liked him. Pulp Fiction coming in at number 8. Like, what do we think about Pulp Fiction at 8? Like, again, Quentin Tarantino, that's probably one of my favorite movies he came out with. Again, I'm a really big, huge fan of the Dusk Till Dawn series. Come on. I love vampires, and I love them exploding, and the whole brother aspect of it. Like, I'm a big brother kind of guy when it comes to fighting vampires. Like, I loved, The Lost Boys. Come on. You gotta love The Lost Boys. Then The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Clint Eastwood, 1966. My dad's probably favorite movie of all time. Him and Gunsmoke go way back. That's the stuff he likes. I do have to say, I wish there was more, like, I don't know, range in this list, but I'll take it as it is. Top 10 movies of all time: Shawshank, Godfather, Godfather Part 2, Dark Knight, 12 Angry Men, Schindler's List, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, motherfucking Pulp Fiction, motherfucker, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and Forrest Gump coming at number 10. Another one of my favorite movies. A little long for me, but, it did justice. Top 10 movie quotes of all time. We're rolling in with, everybody guessed it, probably a Star Wars quote. May the Force be with you. And also with you. Here's looking at you, kid. Coming from, what's that? Casablanca. I'll be back. Terminator 1. That's the one where I think John Connor, his dad, is in it. He sends his own father back to the past with Sarah Connor. She has birth to John Connor, not in this movie, but this Terminator comes to destroy Sarah Connor. And again, it doesn't work because Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Terminator 4, Terminator 8, Terminator 22 comes out. So he fails. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, is a Willy Wonka and a Chocolate Factory kind of quote, but it comes from Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. Number 5 is You Can't Handle the Truth. A Few Good Men. That came out in 1992, which was hard to believe. It shows my age a little bit. I'm king of the world. Another quote from this movie. I'm king of the world. Another quote from this movie is like, Jack, never let go. Jack, never let go. And she lets go. Rose, don't let go. And she lets go of this guy and he drowns and he dies. It's Titanic. It is Titanic. Coming in number 6. Say hello. Say hello to my little friend. This is a Scarface movie. A big movie I watched in college probably, I'd have to say probably 200 times. At least 200 times. There was Saturday nights, I think we were up forever watching it and just saying lines from Scarface. You talking to me? Are you talking to me? Little Taxi Driver, which I'd never seen, but I've heard it's an amazing movie. Bond. James Bond. And you probably guessed it. It's coming from James Bond, but do you know the actual movie name of it? Dr. No. It's a Dr. Mo kind of film, which I've never seen either. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Godfather 2 flick. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Those are the top 10 movie quotes. Stories behind the scenes you never knew about in movies. Top 10, my guys. And again, I'm sorry it's so slow. There's only me here doing this tonight, so it's, I got to do my own thing. And not to mention, I had about 8 in me right now. And again, there was a mango margarita. Nice. There was a Tito's with cucumber and a hint of lime or lemon. You could choose what your garnish was. So good. What's the first one? Don't even remember at this point. Oh my God, there was a pineapple shrimp, like on a shish kebab, kind of like I can't even say it right now. So good, so tasty. So tasty. But let's get to this. So it's the behind the scenes stories and top 10 movies. So Shawshank Redemption. The movie wasn't even initially successful at the box office. A cult following after its release on home video. The film's director, Frank Darabont, had to fight to cast Tim Robbins as the lead role, as the studio initially wanted, guess who? Wilson. Tom Hanks. That's right. Tom Hanks. Number 2 is The Godfather, Marlon Brando, who played Don Vito Corleone, famously refused to memorize his lines. Had cue cards placed around the set. He also came up with his own idea to stuff his cheeks with cotton balls to give him a sense of imposing appearance. Okay. Cotton balls, huh? Godfather Part 2. The film was shot simultaneously with The Conversation, another Francis Ford Coppola film, which meant that Coppola could often have to shuffle back between fourth sets. That's whatever. Okay. You double booked yourself, my guy. The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger, who played the Joker, famously locked himself in a hotel room for a month to prepare his role. He also improvised many of his lines and actions on set. I mean, this man was a phenomenal actor, I think. I forget the movie. He's a Knight. I loved him in that. Like, he's just a good actor. It was that like little romance novel. Not romance novel. That 10 Things I Hate About You or something like that. I liked him in that too. And I don't really like those movies. But he was good. He was good in all those. But I mean, Dark Knight, Heath Ledger nailed it. He definitely did. 12 Angry Men. Entire film takes place in one room. It made it challenging for director Sidney Lumet to keep his audience engaged, to create a sense of tension. He gradually increased the temperature in the room throughout the film to not only fuck with those guys, to make them act like, bring the best out of them. I'm hoping he did, Sorry. All right, so the Schindler's List. Production was emotionally taxing on everyone involved. The director, Steven Spielberg, would often call on Robin Williams to make him laugh after filming particularly difficult scenes. This is just a sad fact. Relying on a comedian to up the motivation for a whole cast. I mean, that's huge for Robin Williams. To be cast to do that. To be asked to do that. Like, that's a lot for somebody. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The film's production was so massive that it required 3 units of filming simultaneously. The crew even had to create a makeshift town in New Zealand to accommodate the cast and crew. So there was their own makeshift cast quarters, like a town for everybody in the film. That is literally insane to me. We have Pulp Fiction, Royals with the Cheese scene, inspired by the real-life conversation that Quentin Tarantino had with a friend in Amsterdam, which is why this man is a brilliant director. Like, just brilliant. Like, he can take his real-life conversations with a buddy and make a absolute fantastic, like, just a scene out of that. The good, the bad, the ugly. The film was shot in Spain. I didn't even know that. My dad probably knew. Right, Poppy? Poppy, you knew that? And the cast and crew often had to contend with extreme heat and dust storms. The film's composer, Ennio Morricone, also had to write some score without even seeing any of the footage of the film. As the film was still being edited, he just came up with it. He's like, this is what I think it would sound like. Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks was so committed to the role, he lost 50 pounds to play the character in later years. The scene where Forrest reunites with Jenny, in Washington, D.C., filmed during an actual anti-Vietnam War rally, which is like super. I also heard one, which I really enjoyed, was the one where there was so many people that played the Tin Man. I'm not sure if you heard this. Like, they had to like paint themselves in the silver painting all over their body to be the Tin Man, and often poisoned everybody. They often got poisoned from it, which is insane in my book. Like, being poisoned by, putting your makeup on every single day, does not sound appealing to me at all. Like, at all. So that was the top 10 behind the scenes and top 10 movies of all time. So for this year, I asked my wife for Father's Day, my birthday, and our anniversary to get Jets tickets for me and my family, because I am dying to see Aaron Rodgers play this year. Like, I've never seen a good quarterback on the New York Jets team throw a ball. This good, at least. Like, Aaron Rodgers is top tier in my book. So we ended up getting 6 tickets for close to $2,000. 2 parking passes, all that good stuff. But like the hassle and like getting to the stadium and finding your seat and making sure like everybody has comfortable, and it sucks because I also wanted to bring my kids, and I'm thinking to myself like I want to go see the Eagles versus the Jets on October 15th. So then there's a flex schedule where it might be a Thursday night game, instead of a Sunday night at 4 o'clock, where that's doable for my kids, right? But if it's a Thursday night game, I can't bring my children because I want to enjoy the game. I want to be able to watch Aaron Rodgers throw. I want to be able to like cheer as loud as possible. I want to be able to scream obscenities at Jalen Hurts, or my wife's even going to bring a New Heights shirt there because she loves that podcast. She absolutely adores Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce. So it's like, I want to be able to like fully take it in, especially when you're paying that much money. Like, you want to be able to fully experience that event. Right. So like, but I also want to have my kids there, which is selfish of me, because you really shouldn't, you really should, think about your family and everything they go through. But again, like the last time I was at a Jets game, I saw like a fist fight, and I saw like, last time I went with my wife, there was a lady that was like, we were in section like 114 or something like that. And like 3 rows down, there was this girl like screaming at this one guy, turning around. She's like in this guy's face. Guy ends up giving her a kiss on the cheek. Mwah. This lady crocs this fist back and punches this dude square in the face so hard. She's got 3 little kids, not 3 little kids, but like, I don't know, between like 12 and 6, like sitting next to her crying. And next thing you know, the state troopers come down the stairs. They put hands behind the back and they walk her out. And my wife's like, you think you need to go down there and do something? No. This is why. I'm here to enjoy a game. And I'm pretty sure she has other family members there that are willing to step up and take care of these kids. You know? And this is probably when like the Jets were semi-good and they made it to the AFC Championship like 2 times going. Again, selfish. I'm just a selfish Jets guy. That's all I am. But I wanted to read some of the top 10, best ways to enjoy a football game. Number 1 being watch with friends. Friends. Not. And 2, you can even watch with I have a buddy who's a Dolphins fan. You know what I mean? Like I love watching AFC East with a Dolphins fan. My buddy who was alive, back in the day, Bills fan. Like I loved watching football with him because again, they're unique perspectives when it came to your team. I love to hear it. I love to hear how the Jets, and how the Bills are just going to destroy the Jets and how the Dolphins are just going to destroy the Jets and forget it. Patriots, I just hate them. Unfortunately, I just never liked them. Watching a football game with friends can be a lot of fun. You can cheer on your favorite team together, discuss the game's progress, enjoy some snacks and drinks. Snacks being some type of buffalo 7-layer cheese dip, please, with some Fritos. Go to a game. Attending a football game in person can be an unforgettable experience. You can soak up the atmosphere, watch the players up close, cheer on your team with thousands of other fans who adore them too. Again, I'm going to go to the Eagles Jets game. Usually they play the Jets in preseason. I think it's like week 3 usually. But this year we're playing the NFC East. So I want to see that. Host a viewing party. You can host a viewing party at your home. Set up a big screen TV. Decorate your space with team colors. Blah, blah, blah. That does not sound fun. Even though I do that. If you look around, I have Jets Avenue, Jets Clock, Jets this. I used to have a Zach Wilson, big head, on a shirt and stuff like that. But I don't think my friends or family want to see all that stuff. This is what I love. Play fantasy football. We have our own little family fantasy league, which I suck at, but I mean, I try every year. I think I'll get better. I think I came close to winning one year, but forget it. My wife, she always gets a stacked team. I don't know how. Oh, she follows Chris Collinsworth. That's what she does. She's like, I look at CBS, Chris Collinsworth. I do his thing. I do whatever he says. But playing fantasy football can add an extra layer to excitement to watching the games. You can draft your own team of players, compete against friends, and root for your own players to have a great game. So not only are you rooting for the Jets to win, right? You're probably rooting for that Devontae Adams to catch 4 touchdowns or Derek Carr with the Saints, right? To have 4 running touchdowns. Travis Kelce having a 200-yard game. Receptions. Mr. Tyreek Hill throwing up those peace signs, running into the end zone. Alvin Kamara maybe getting another nose ring. Stuff like that. Participate in game day traditions. Many football teams have their own game day traditions, such as tailgating. I love it. Chicken wings. A maze. Pre-game rituals, post-game celebrations. Participating in these traditions can help you feel more connected to a team other than fans. I do have to say, post-game celebrations. So, I'm a Jets fan. I think I said it 10 times now, but my kids often ask why I don't cheer as much as the other teams cheer, And a lot of times I tell them, the Jets don't score that many touchdowns. It's more of a 7-3 game. It's more of a, it's not a 35-28 game. It's sad. It's a sad existence as a Jets fan in the past 13 years. I'm not going to lie. My kids have not seen a winning season. So I've not been happy on Sundays. Focus on the game. Finally, remember to focus on the game itself. Pay attention to the strategies and plays. Cheer your team on. Appreciate the athleticism and skill of the players. I mean, it's tough to do that, I think. I think we're all about winning. Just me. That's just me. I truly feel if you're not winning, you're not appreciating the team. They can be blowing people out on the field, but if they're not winning games at the end of the day, you're not oh, CJ Mosley hits a fucking monster truck, right? At the end of the day, if they lost that game, you're oh, the Jets lost. It is what it is. Or Kyler Murray. This dude can sling the ball everywhere. If the Cardinals aren't good, You're not saying this dude's got a fucking cannon. He's throwing it everywhere. Speaking of that, D-Hop got released. So I think top 5 predictions for him. I think one of them is the Jets. For him to land, which would be semi-incredible. With a Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, Alan Lazard, Denzel Mims. I mean, name a tight end. I'm pretty sure all 3 can catch, so that's a decent spill. So yeah. We got that, boys and girls. So, the next thing I wanted to get into is some of the top 10 anime that I'm watching. Since Mace is not here, my brother's not here, and no one's here, it's just me. I wanted to dive into the top 10 anime and why. I'm going to start at number 10 because I'm going to work my way back. I'm going to say Sword Art Online. I mean, it's pretty much, it's like a virtual, MMORPG where players are trapped and they must fight to survive inside this game. Great anime. Love everything about it. Love the action, love the story, love the character development in this one. Again, I mean, they came out with a couple other sequels that I didn't enjoy, but it is what it is. Neon Genesis Evangelion. I mean, good characters, good visuals. Teenage boy who pilots a giant mech to fight against monstrous creatures called angels. I don't know. I wasn't really into it, but it's number 9. One I think is really, really underrated is My Hero Academia. Diverse characters, exciting action sequences. It takes place in a world where people have superpowers, quirks. They have quirks. This boy has a quirk. He's quirkless. Inherits a quirk called the All Might, or All for One, I forget. And he has to develop all these powers. And he's training him to become a hero. And I think it's a really incredible anime. Again, Dragon Ball Z. I think top tier, top absolute tier, because this is an anime I watched when I was 16 years old. And I would watch this before basketball. I would get pumped. See Vegeta fighting Goku. I loved it. Everything about it. To be honest with you, I love the fact the more they powered up, the bigger their hair got, the bigger their muscles got. To be honest, that was my draw. Holy shit, these people are pumping up and look at their hair grow. It becomes blonde. Love it. One Piece, one of the longest running animes I think I've ever heard of. I still see it. I think it's on tonight on Adult Swim. I think they have some, I don't know, the 22nd or 23rd arc going on right now. And it follows a journey of Monkey D. Luffy and his crew as they search for the ultimate treasure, the One Piece. They'll never find it. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Cowboy Bebop coming in at number 5. Well-written characters, fantastic soundtracks, and follows a group of bounty hunters traveling through space on a spaceship called the Bebop. Bebop-a-doodop. Death Note. Let's see. Death Note. An anime not too action-packed, but again, it's a guy who finds a actual high school student who discovers a supernatural notebook. It can kill anybody. You write a name on there, it kills him. Naruto. Vast world, diverse characters, engaging story. Follows the journey of a ninja. Shocker, his name is Naruto. I mean, again, the only thing my wife always brings this up. If I watch a cartoon, are you watching Naruto? Or Naruto or Bleach? That's what she goes for. Are you watching Naruto or Bleach? Which one is it? But it is what it is. Full Metal Alchemist coming in at number 2. The Brotherhood, though. Such a good anime. Such a good, breathtaking sequences. It follows the journey of 2 brothers as they search for the Philosopher's Stone to restore their bodies after a failed alchemy experiment. Well, the failed experiment was to bring their mother back to life. I mean, his brother lost his entire body. He had to write his soul into a pattern on a suit of armor. And my man, Alfred Riddick, or whatever his name is, I know I butchered that name. I'm so sorry. He loses, like, I think his like right arm and his like his leg or something like that. And he gets auto mail, and he befriends a auto mail girl, and they have a good time. The number one anime that I wanted to wrap up so bad to see the ending, Attack on Titan. Intense, thrilling story, complex characters, stunning animation. Takes place in a world where humanity lives in a fear of giant humanoid creatures called Titans. I mean, these motherfuckers they eat these guys. They eat regular humans. Such a good one. And the twists and turns of this anime is so epic. And the ones I'm watching right now, Demon Slayer, this arc, this swordsman arc, like in this village. Oh my God. The animation's so good. I mean, the story's okay, but I mean, the animation is so good. Like the demons, the upper four, like they're so well written. I think they're so creative in how they look and how they act and the way they take on their forms. So good. What's another one I'm watching? Not an anime, but Rick and Morty. That's always my go-to. It makes me smile inside. Like Rick and Morty are my go-to for. I have it on my wall here. I just got a poster of Rick and Morty. Can you see it? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You probably didn't see it, but I love Rick and Morty. What's another anime I'm watching? Yeah, that's about it for Opinions On with Junior tonight. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. opinionsonaPodcast@gmail.com. Please send your messages in, emails, anything you want to hear, any opinions you have on things. You want me to talk about orca whales and how they're fucking sinking ships right now, or, bring my kids on a podcast. I can try that. I just want to know what you guys want to hear. Again, opinionsonaPodcast@gmail.com. Send it to your man here, Junior. Love you guys. Later.
Thanks for listening to Opinions On with Maze and Junior. Hit that subscribe so you don't miss out.